One of the number one reasons why women struggle with dating and relationships today is that they choose men who are not ready for anything real. Ladies, there are lots of great relationship-ready men out here. However, you need to learn how to choose them. I wrote this book to teach you how to do just that. Get your copy of Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you on Amazon today.
Good morning. Good Friday morning. Some of y'all are into saying Friday or thank God it's Friday, happy Friday. All of these days are the same for me. There's nothing special about it being Friday. I pretty much work 7 days a week, so okay. It's another day that I have responsibilities. It's another day that I have to see clients or I have to work in my business. But I wanted to jump on this morning and remind you that school is open. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do. And I have a lot of business things I've got to do over the weekend. I have yet to find time to place these ads, so I need to do that. So many things to do. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the managing of your emotions and how important it is, especially now. And this message is for men and women. I am very well aware that today's adult person, let me be more specific, today's adult person is less emotionally mature than the people of the past. That is what I have noticed. I have some people who will constantly refute or come back against when I speak about the 60s, so the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. They will constantly come back and say, you keep talking about how things were better. You keep talking about the music was better, the movies were better, and, you keep bashing the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. You keep bashing this modern day era like, things were so much better back in the day. And a lot of these people weren't even alive then. So that's why you don't know, because you were not alive. But I want you to understand that someone my age, someone in their 60s, 70s, someone my mother's age, my mother's 82, 81? My mother's 81 and my dad's 82. So if you talk to my dad and my mom, they will definitely tell you the world has gone to hell in a handbasket because they were alive for the last 80 years. They saw the differences then and now. So you're a fool to argue with someone that age and you're 25 or 30 or 35. Like you're the fool. You're the fool in the conversation because they were alive. They were alive from all the way back then till now. And they saw with their own eyes, not read in a book, not was told by someone else. They saw with their own eyes what the world was like then and what it's like now. And I am very much that person myself. So I saw what the world was like before the internet. I saw what the world was like before the smartphone. I definitely saw what the world was like before social media, and I see what it's like now. And again, you'd have to be pretty clueless to think that, things are so much better now. Like, dating is so much better now. Courting is so much better now. You know what? I have an easier time. How about this? Let me say this. What would you say if I told you I have an easier time now finding a good husband? I have an easier time now finding a good, strong, masculine husband, finding someone who's committed, finding someone who wants to be married and have a family. it's so much easier now because I have a device, and a little thing on my phone that allows me to meet so many more men than what live in my neighborhood or live in my city or go to my school. It's so much easier. Oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. And what's crazy is you would think it would be, and yet it's worse. And yet it's worse. The more options we have, the worse it has gotten. Okay, the paradox of choice. Look it up. It is not going to make things easier. It's going to make things harder. But I digress. But anyway, this message, and I'm going to be brief because I'm going to pull up to my office here in a minute, is all about managing your emotions well. And so, I'm seeing people today that really struggle with this. Like, they really struggle with being able to be appropriately stoic, to be able to critically think. I think that's a huge reason why people are not able to critically think anymore, because all of their opinions are deeply emotionally based. They're not based on any science or any facts or any studies or any of that. It's all based on their emotions. Okay. This isn't the greatest place to park, but I gotta park here. And then, and this is kind of sad to say, but I think we are choosing people. We're choosing people to have relationships with. We're choosing people to have sex with. And again, it's not based on anything that is positive, or, it's not based on any real traits that are probably good and positive. It's all based on your emotions. It's based on how that person makes you feel. And that's why people get caught up. They get caught up in the moment because this person makes me feel, fill in the blank. And remember, you can fall in love with a pedophile. You can fall in love with a serial killer. Like, those things matter. But today we act like that stuff doesn't matter. We act like the fact that a man has multiple children and hasn't seen or taken care of any of them. Oh, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We act like a woman, selling her body on OnlyFans, or selling her body as an escort, or being a sugar baby, or whatever you call it, trading her time or her sexual favors for money. We don't see that as a bad thing. Like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? The fact that these women who were on OnlyFans, and I can't think of either one of their name, and that's a good thing. But the two women who have the OnlyFans accounts, the first one who slept with 100 people, and then the second one who claimed to slept with 1,000 people. So, both. Can I be honest? My critical thinking mind says both of them are lying. I think both of them are lying. Okay? And the truth is, we have no way to verify it. We have no way to verify if what they're telling you is true, but that's what critically thinking people do. I think both of those women lied. I don't think either one of them slept with 100 men or 1,000 men. But, they didn't shoot it in real time, from what I understand. Like, you have no way to verify it. The only person who knows the truth is her, and she's telling it to y'all. So we have no way to know if that's even true. But the two women who did this fiasco, I want you to think about the even more men who participated. So there were a whole lot of men who participated in this. They showed up. They attempted to have sex in some way, shape, or form. Like, really think about that. And not once in their mind did they think, I am exposing myself to a whole lot of STIs. Like, I am exposing myself to, how about this? I'm exposing myself to all these other men. Like, that's where our society is now. So if you're a man and you're participating in gangbang type behavior, you're exposing yourself to other men and other men's DNA and other men's bodily fluids. Like, Like we don't think about that, do we? I do. My critically thinking mind thinks that's, that's borderline homosexual behavior. Like you're exposing yourself to other men. So if another man had sex with a woman and you come behind him, you just exposed yourself to that man's DNA. That's nasty. But anyway, I digress. But we have got to, in my humble opinion, we've got to introduce more logic, more rationale. And I'm not saying it should be the only way we make decisions, but it should be a part of it. And I've talked about this before, that the 3 systems that you should always check in on before making a decision is your head, your heart, and your gut. Okay? And at some point out of those 3 systems, you're going to have a vote. And 2 of them are going to outvote the other one, right? Have a vote between all 3 of those systems, and 2 of them will outvote the other one. That's how you're probably going to make your best decisions. John Hernandez 153 says tech is better. Ease of access to information is great. Media has numbed us to a lackluster society of devalued standards and degraded entitled thinking, inflated egos, and false pride. Okay, he says, like, what is the purpose? Yeah. Tech is better. I can't even move past tech is better. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and deny that there have not been incredible benefits. There are incredible benefits to the things that we've created and invented. But again, you have to ask yourself, at what cost? Right? Do the cons outweigh the pros? That's what you have to ask yourself. These things that we've created, are they destroying us? So that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, it's great. There's an ease to our life. Like, think about it. There's an ease to our life that we've never had before ever in history. And yet we are more depressed. We are more overweight. We are lonelier. We are not mating. We are not meeting, dating, and mating and having kids, right? We're incredibly unhealthy. I mean, the health crisis is like at epidemic levels. And the mental health crisis is at epidemic. That's why I tell people, I will never be without a job. If I want to remain licensed until I'm 90, I will have plenty of clients, plenty of people to see. So whether I see people individually for a wide variety of mental health conditions, whether I see couples, the way this society is going. So right now I am a couples therapist. That's predominantly what I do. I coach singles, and every now and again I'll counsel individuals, but primarily my practice, 80 to 90%, I see couples. But the way that the world is going, I'm never going to be without a job. I will forever have couples coming into my practice whose relationships and marriages are failing. So, and then I will forever have individuals with mental health issues. The way our society is going. Okay, think about that. Think about all of the conditions that, in my mind, didn't even exist 100 years ago. Autism, ADHD, like, really think about that. These things are, not good. And can they get worse? That's what you have to ask yourself. But anyway, back to managing your emotions. So you have these 3 systems, and you have to develop all of them. So this is what I always tell people. You've got to develop your instinct and your intuition. You've got to develop your discernment, right? That's a part of that intuition system. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. And it's so fascinating because it's like, again, it's not rooted in logic. That's why I don't call it your mind. It is your gut. It is that gut instinct of, you know what? Something is telling me not to do this. You know what? Something's telling me this person is not okay. This person is not a good person for me to keep seeing. Like, it's just a knowing. And you have to develop it. You have to trust it. And I always tell people, start small. Start small by asking yourself, like when you have a decision to make, and it could be like tea or coffee. right? It could be a tea or coffee decision. I want you to go into your gut, go into that intuition and say, which one should I choose? And trust that answer. Trust that answer. Evolving underscore Lulu74 says, what's the most common reason couples come to see you for? So 95% of couples, when they fill out that form to have a consult, 95% of them list communication. And I always find it fascinating. 95% of them say communication. We have communication issues. And 95% of them are wrong. Like I always say that in their consult. You all put down your main problem is communication. 95% of them are completely off. They're completely off. But that's a catch-all, reason for coming into couples therapy. There's infidelity. There's a lack of acceptance or approval. There's a general, I feel like I married the wrong person. I'm in the wrong relationship. There's a lack of sex and sexual intimacy. There's family issues. Let me tell y'all the biggest one. The biggest one is the traumas that each person has, just the traumas that each person has experienced from their past. Like that's the biggest one. So the way a person was raised, the early relationships that they were in, the bad habits that they have, that's really the biggest reason. They don't know how to be in a healthy relationship. They don't have good relationship skills. That's really the number one. So most people are coming in not knowing how to talk to people, not knowing, how to give compliments, not knowing how to be intentional, not knowing how to, continue to court each other and date. And, they just don't know. And they have a lot of bad habits from their family of origin and a lot of bad habits from previous relationships. So they just bring that into this current relationship and it doesn't work. And, we have problems. So, but yeah, we have to hone our intuition. That's the number one thing that I see out here amongst young people. Like when you say gut instinct or intuition or knowing, they look at you wide-eyed. They're like, what's that? Discernment, what's that? Well, how? And that's the number one. How would I know? But it's like something that's so underdeveloped. Like they don't have a clue what gut instinct or intuition is. And it's funny because I've been out with my kids. Like I've been out places or been doing things and I'll be like, you know what? We're not going here. And they're like, why? And they have all these questions, like we're about to go into some place or we're about to do something and my gut will go off. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to skip it. Why aren't we going? And da-da-da. And it's like, I can't explain it. But my gut says no. My intuition is saying no. So, and I've tried to teach them that. Like, do you ever have a feeling? Do you ever have a knowing? Does anything ever drop into your mind and say, don't do this, don't go here, don't buy that, don't do, and I've been trying to help them to hone that skill. But it's like modern day people are clueless. So, yeah. He said, media is corrupted thinking. Whatever has been created, there will always be something to corrupt it, abuse it, and extort it. Media's downfall, bad music themes, and people buying into the easy and no discernment. Yeah, no discernment is running rampant. That's running rampant. A lot of people's pineal gland is calcified due to the low quality food people are eating. I believe there's some truth to that. I just finished watching an interview with Dr. Berg, who's one of the people that I follow. And he talked at length about, some of the things that the administration will hopefully look into and correct and check and all the things. But yeah, our food system is complete crap. And like I said, once I started changing my diet last year, it was like every time I go into the grocery store, I want to cry because I'm like, I can't eat 90% of this. It's so freaking frustrating. Like every time I go into Walmart, I go into Kroger, I go into, Publix or Food Lion or Wegmans. Like I can't eat any of this. Now I will say, this is what I'll say about Wegmans. This is what I love about Wegmans. when you go into Wegmans, you are greeted by the first thing you see is the fruit and vegetable section. Like they have a huge fruit and vegetable section. And it is that when you enter the store, that's the first thing you see is fruits, vegetables, all the lettuce, all that, right? Then if you turn to the left, you will see some cakes and some sweets. But then when you go around the corner, that's where all their meats, all their seafoods, all their chickens and their beef. Okay. So I feel a little bit better when I'm shopping at Wegmans because I feel like Wegmans is pushing me to eat whole food. Baby, you go into Walmart, you go into Kroger, you go into Publix or any of the, baby, they got sugar for miles and miles, chips, processed food, these bars, boxes of cereal, it's just miles and miles. Miles and miles. You can't get out of there without seeing 90% of the food you shouldn't even be eating. So it's real disappointing. And then look, people think I'm crazy. People think I'm crazy when I start talking about the food and how horrible it is. And you cannot tell me it is not designed this way. There's something going on. You are completely clueless if you don't think somebody, some organization, somewhere wants us all sick, fat, broke, and dying. Okay? And the fact that I'm not falling for it, now you got a problem with me? Anyway, that's another live, okay? So yeah, I agree with that. The food, it's really sad. It's really sad. So think about all the things out here in the world that are actually not helping us to operate at a high level. The music, the food, what you're watching on television and movies suck. I've been saying this for about 15 years now. Movies suck. Okay? My generation, Gen X, we were the GOAT when it came to movies. You all are still, there are movies made in my generation that people are still remaking 2 and 3 times because you can't think of an original idea. All the original ideas came from my generation of all the best movies of all time. And what you doing today is remaking them. That's all you doing. Oh, let's remake this. I'm surprised they haven't remade The Godfather or haven't remade, Jaws. And I'm like, it's really sad. But really think about that. Think about all the systems we have in place. And are they here to support us in a good, healthy, positive way or not? Like if you just ask yourself that question, is listening to this music positive? Is it here to help me? Is it here to help me be better or not? Is this food I'm about to eat, is it here to help me be better or not? Like that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And literally make it, is it helping me to be better or not? And most of that stuff is going to say, or not. Or not. Is social media helping me to be better or not? Okay. So again, there is value in all of these things, but because humans do not know where that line is, they really don't get the value that they should, right? There's value in social media in the sense of we have more access to information. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. Most of my feed, if I'm being honest, is animal videos. Most of my feed has got Frenchies on it, other animal videos, other inspirational teachers, a lot of Christian faith stuff. That's 98% of my feed. 2% of my feed is about dating and relationships. So what I'm putting out and what I'm seeing, totally different. Totally different. She said, I watched Trading Places last weekend. Yeah, of course you did. And you laughed and had a great time. Again, all the best movies was created in my generation. But yeah, I just, like I said, I'm trying to be positive. I want to be positive. I want to think that things will get better. That's in my nature, as a glass half full person. And we've got to check ourselves. We've got to check in with ourselves and stop letting our emotions and our feelings drive every decision that we make. Okay, I get it. Scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, watching YouTube videos, for hours on end. Yeah, it feeds the dopamine system. It feeds the dopamine system. But guess what? Our current modern day era is dopamine addicted. Like that's all it's about, is feeling good all the time. And the thing is, you just can't grow like that. You cannot grow feeding the dopamine system. You have to feed the serotonin system, right? You have to do things for your testosterone and your estrogen, and you have to feed the oxytocin system. You have other hormones, the vasopressin system, right? And vasopressin is all about hard things. Vasopressin is all about doing the hard thing. But see, we don't want to do that anymore. And it is truly destroying us. So check yourselves. I did a video on sexual discipline. And again, it is 100%, derived from your emotions. It's all about, this feels good now. And so you're out here, especially for the men. Like I said, I'm glad God made me a woman. As hard as being a woman can be, I'm glad God made me a woman, because I can't imagine being a man. And from what I hear, from what they tell me, this constant need and desire to like have sex and procreate and think about it, I can't even imagine that. To me, that makes you a very weak, controllable person. Like if you have something that intensely like driving you here and driving you there and making you sleep with her and making you sleep, it's like, okay, you don't have any control over yourself. Like the women control you. So in essence, you're telling me the women control you. They really control you, right? If they're able to give you some behind and you take it, and now you got your livelihood on the line. You got your, maybe she may get pregnant. You got child support on the line. You got diseases on the line. You got all these things, but you just, I just can't help myself. That's how men are. We born to spread our seed and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, God gave you a brain. God gave you a brain. You know that, right? And you comparing yourself to an animal. And there aren't many animals in the animal kingdom that are monogamous. Okay, you're not an animal. You're a mammal, but you're not an animal. God gave you a brain. You were made in God's image. You are capable of amazing things. If God made you in his image, and you mean to tell me you can't turn up some poontang? Come on. Like, you can do amazing things. But to me, like I said, I understand the strong urge, gentlemen, but some of this is a cop-out. And, this is how we made, and I can't do nothing about it, and I just got to run around, put my thing in everything. Okay. But we have got to control our emotions better. And ladies, too, I talked about female sexual discipline. You got women out here. You got women out here falling for the same mess. And look, now it's a whole thing where women keep talking about a man's size. Since when did that dictate who I chose as a husband? Huh? Like, I literally be scratching my head like when I hear women talk about this. Since when is that at the top of the list of what a good husband is? Like, huh? Well, girl, I gotta try it, because what if he got a small peen? What if he don't know what he doing in the bedroom? This is where we are, y'all. This is where we are in 2025. That is the primary thing that they so-called checking for a good man, for a good husband. I gotta laugh. I have to laugh. I'm sorry. I have to laugh because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Lord. And it's like women of years gone by, like we had better sense than that. We was like, baby, whatever it is, I'm going to work it out. Okay. I'm going to work it out. We going to work it out. I'm going to help him. I'm going to show him some things. Or I'm going to do this or that. And as long as he's willing to be taught, it's going to be just fine. But think about it. You spending 30 minutes a day in the bed. Okay. And that's on a good day. Let's be real. 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's taking about 30 minutes. What you going to do the other 23 and a half hours in the day? So let's say he putting it down for 30 minutes. Okay. And once it's over, who you got? Who you got? What is he about? What is he doing? Does he work? Does he not work? does he not help out with the kids? You know, is he beating you? Is he cheating on you? Like seriously. Come on, y'all. Stop this nonsense. She said, we have reduced our love on body parts and fake image of beauty. Precisely. So it's real shallow out here, y'all. It's real shallow. Look, I can't even, so when I go into the dating pool, it come up to my ankles. It come up to my ankles. That's how shallow the dating pool is. I can't even swim in the dating pool. Because when I get in the dating pool, it come up to my ankles. That's where we are. Okay? I can't really wade. I can't get all of my bottom half wet. It come up to my ankles. That's how shallow the dating pool is. Okay? So it's teen size, what size is he? And then it's next, what does money look like? So we go straight from peen to the money, to the wallet. Like, no wonder y'all are in a world of hurt with these relationships. This is your system of finding a good man? Lord, help me. Help me. All the themes in life extorted by wrong thinking equals bad relationships and broken families. Exactly. Lord. So y'all, I just want you to know, like I said, I'm an equal opportunity. I'm going to bust you out, right? It's not about the men. It's not about the women. All us jacked up. I'll come for the men. I'll come for the women. Everybody can get it. Because both sides, you want to be honest, both sides have lost their mind. Both sides have completely lost their mind. Now, it's not every man and it's not every woman. But here's my question for you all. And this is the question I'm going to ask every week in school. Why are we struggling? Why are we having such a hard time finding each other? The good ones. Why are the good ones really struggling to find each other? That is my question. That is why I created Skool. I wanted to bring together the good men, the good women, the men and women who want to grow, who want to be their best, who want to learn healthy relationship skills, and who want to meet another person that's doing that too. So Mr. _ Whitaker 5 says, I really do appreciate you saying that about men and women because we are all jacked up. We are. I just don't understand the whole, them. No, it's all of us. It's all of us. It's all of us. And you would have to be a really clueless woman to not realize that there are some jacked up women out here. Come on now. Now you are delusional if you cannot see that there are some horrific women out here. And I would say the same for the men. You are delusional. I had a delusional friend. Okay, let me speak on this. I had a delusional male friend that because he was a good dude, because he was taking care of his kids, he had 50-50 custody, he worked hard every day, he didn't cheat, he was a good dude, but he was delusional. He literally thought every man on the planet was doing what he was doing. I said, huh? What? How can you fix your mouth to say that? All these men in jail, all these men in prison, all these men getting high or getting drunk, all these men not paying child support, all these men not taking care of their kids. What? No, it's some jacked up men out here. Okay? And I don't see why. The women have plenty of good men. I said, baby, you delusional. I ain't even get mad. I said, you know what? As the Bible say, this is like arguing with a fool. Like, why am I arguing with this fool? Like, that speaks to your delusion. The fact that you cannot see there are some crazy men out here. There are some crazy women out here. Like, you delusional. But if you are emotionally mature, okay, if you got any sense about you, you can look at your own gender and see what's up. Okay? Let's stop all the nonsense. So we all need help. We all need help. And like I said, the family unit is breaking down so quickly. That is the original. That was meant to be the original teacher. So that was the original teacher of conflict resolution, communication, how to listen, how to share, right? All the things you were supposed to get and have a good life and have a good relationship, you were supposed to get in your family. Baby, there's families out here now. They not even teaching about sex. They not teaching about love. They not teaching you how to wash your tail. I got grown people that I'm instructing how to wash their tail proper. And I'm like, okay, we in trouble. Like, your mama, your daddy, okay, should have showed you this. But when I make those videos and the men be in the comments, they're like, well, dang, Miss Anita, why you call us out? I said, because somebody didn't teach you how to wash your tail. Somebody did not teach you that it's not gay to take a washcloth, a soaped up washcloth, and run it between the crack of your behind and wash under your balls. Somebody didn't teach you that. So I'm going to tell you. Okay? But the family is breaking down so quickly. All the lessons that should have been learned in the family, the kids are not learning. Look, sometimes my kids shock me. They'll tell me stuff that other kids say, and look, they say, your mama didn't teach you that. Like, they'll say it to the kids. Your daddy didn't teach you that, or your mama. Of course, that's how I do it. Of course, this is what you do, and you do this. And they be teaching the other Gen Z kids that them Gen Z kids are like, yeah, they don't talk about this. They don't tell me about that. They don't do this. They don't do that. I tell my kids. Because you ain't never going to go out here in these streets and say, I didn't tell you. You may get into some trouble, but the first thing they going to say is, where's your home training? Who your mama? Yeah, she told me. She told me not to do X, Y, and Z. You going to say that I told you, and you went against what I told you. But it's people out here now, they're not even learning it at home. So now you grown, and you moving about the earth with some foolishness. So no. He said, us as men need to take full ownership and get some help. It's okay to know that areas in my life that I need help in. I agree. It takes an emotionally mature man to do that, though. And a lot of people, not just men, it's some emotionally immature women. Like, they're emotionally immature people. These people didn't fully develop in childhood. They didn't fully develop in their teenage years. And so they're walking around as adults with a 15-year-old mind, with a 10-year-old mind, an 8-year-old mind, thinking that their stuff don't stink. She said, nobody wants to be a mature mother. Grandma is too busy TikToking and not showing the girls how to be a woman of discernment. Man, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. And it's sad. It's sad. Our first ministry is to our family. Our first ministry is to our family. Can I be honest with y'all? I told a client this yesterday because she asked me about all the things that I've done over my 57 years and how I came to do them and how did I come to be on Instagram and how did I come to be on YouTube. I said, baby, I started this when my children went off to college. I said, when my children went off to college, that's the year I started my podcast. That's the year I started my channel. Like, my number one responsibility was raising my children. It was not being on here talking to y'all. It was not making YouTube videos. It was raising my children. I am still, to some extent, guiding and directing my children. And they're in their 20s. But they are grown adults. So for the most part, I do what I want to do. You're a grown adult, and I do what I want to do. And what I want to do is move on to the next generation. What I want to do is try to help other people. But I didn't start this until my kids were going off to college. Because family is the first ministry. It don't matter how popular you are out in these streets. It don't matter how many followers you have. It don't matter how many, the fame or the fortune or the money you have if your family is going to hell. That doesn't matter. So people have their priorities all mixed up. But yeah, I do this now because God has called me. He came to me in a dream and was like, oh, it's getting bad out here. It's getting real bad, Anita. And you know what? These young women and, they need you. They need you. They need your wisdom. They need your guidance. They need to hear about the dumb stuff you did when you was young. They need you. They don't have mothers and grandmothers and aunties out here instructing and guiding them. And he said, and guess what? You have access to the whole world through your phone. So I was like, okay, let me sign up and do this. And initially, my goal was always to work with women between 20 and 40. That was my avatar. And then God said, you know what? Just tell everybody. Just tell everybody. Tell the men, tell the women, tell everybody. Everybody needs the message. Okay? But yeah, it's wild. She said, my son was first and he can now manage himself, but his friends are struggling. Yeah, I know they are. My kids too. The stuff that these kids tell me. Yes, and there's so many women out here that need help and dealing with so many issues from their past and upbringing, but still think ain't nothing they do nor say isn't wrong with them. So sad, but true. Yeah, they're emotionally immature. Just understand that. And what do I tell men? As soon as you get that vibe, exit stage left. Like I keep telling y'all. But no, you want to put your penis inside of her. You want to, have her put her mouth on you. Well, I know she got problems. I know she got issues. I know she got anger issues. I know she got a whole bunch of kids and all this. Oh, Lord. And you want to put your penis inside of her. So make that make sense. Go about your business. I keep telling men this. The signs are there. And then they kill me when, she changed. No, she did not. The signs are there. But your lust clouded the signs. Leave her alone and go to someone calmer. Go to someone more balanced or more emotionally mature. That's all. Right? Same with the ladies. He changed. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Your desperation, you're wanting a man so bad, and he looked so good, and he was so tall, or his big peen, or whatever it is he had. Baby, he always been this. But all that clouded your good judgment. You didn't check in with your intuition. You didn't check in with your heart. You definitely ain't check in with your mind. You definitely ain't check in with your common sense. Your logical, rational mind. No. And notice how when I talk about those three, I'm not talking about your nether regions. Right? I said mind, heart, gut instinct. I didn't say your peen. I didn't say your punani. Your peen and your punani don't get a vote. Okay? So, that's all. I gotta go. I got a 10 o'clock. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. I'm feeling good about school. And, I just have a good feeling. That's all I got a good gut instinct. And my hope is that it's going to grow over time. It's going to introduce people to other good people. Like that is my hope. I'm hoping to bring good people together. And finally, we can show each other like, wow, there are good, normal, healthy people out here. Right? And it's what I always tell women. I run across good, healthy, normal men all the time. Now, they're not all my husband, right? That's what hems a lot of women up. Well, if you're dating all these good guys, why aren't you married to one of them? Because there is a very specific man that God has shown me that is my best fit. So a great man is not necessarily always my husband. And we really get hemmed up on that, but I meet decent men all the time, and I'm trying to introduce them to decent women. I'm trying to make those connections. But I got a good feeling about Skool. I really do. All right. He said, need to see you again ASAP. Thank you. Please send information. If you go to the link in my bio, you can get signed up for Skool. He said, no, she didn't change. So true. Leave her alone. Move on. Someone that's peaceful and whole out there for you, but you have to love yourself first. Agreed. And I just posted over on YouTube. I said, when you love yourself, who you choose to be in your life will change. And it's true. Who you choose to be around will change drastically. Because think about it. It's just like people who have kids. They'll take a lot of mess off of someone, and then when they have a child, all of a sudden, oh, you can't be smoking no more. You can't be drinking no more. You can't do this. You can't. Baby, you should have said that for yourself. Why do you need your child to come on the scene? Why do you need to have more love for your child than you do yourself? Like, I feel that way about me from day one. I don't like people cussing around me. I don't like people smoking around me, drinking around me. Like, I feel that way about myself. So that's what a lot of people, like, you got to come to that. You got to start loving yourself like you love your children or a child. You have to love your inner child enough to not put up with people's mess. But I noticed that people will take a whole lot of mess and then they'll have a child and now all of a sudden their standards are raised. No, your standards should have been up there. So love yourself. It makes a difference. All right. Have a great rest of the day. Please like this video, share it with anyone you think could benefit from it, and join Skool. If you are ready, or if you want to get ready, join Skool. You're going to be impressed with the people that you find over there. Have a great day, and as always, stay open to love.